representatives of NACs have a vote. So that would be those who are at this table. So everyone in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. looks like
Mark
we have
is
some-
only close to the table.
So that's
Okay, I'll now make a motion.
Distinguished.
The second motion is that I move that at the December meeting, that we approve the bylaws for for the rest of the time. And those will become our official bylaws.
So these are interim bylaws.
These, what we just passed, were interim bylaws till the end of the December meeting. At the December meeting, and you will all have the ability to send to either Pete or myself any suggestions, anything you see, any questions that you want to bring up, and we'll deal with those at the December meeting, either through automatic adoption, or if there is an issue, it'll be focused, and we will try as hard as we can to put the changes that we're making to this document in front of you so that you'll be able to see exactly how people manipulated us and gave us enough money to make the changes.
Right.
My bank account number is 174.
You need a second for that motion?
I believe Mr. Colstead made the
I'll
second.
second that too.
Any discussions or questions?
My question is, why are we approving a document that could potentially be different now why don't we do it when we see it?
Because my understanding is that the city fathers and mothers have asked us to get bylaws right now. And so to keep...
Right, so we have some through December.
Right. We have some through December, and what I'm moving is, we're not going to vote on the motion. I'm just making a motion in a second. In fact, there is no vote on this. That in December, we will take this as our base, that you now have the opportunity to recommend any changes that you want. So the question is open, and there is no need for a motion.
There's always an ideal possibility that no one will have any changes and these will be absolutely perfect. But that being said, and we're all human, there's always that possibility of change. I'd rather move forward with these for now.
Fair question,
Well,
Steve.
but
That's already been, we've already
Yeah.
approved that.
Yeah.
We're talking about something else now.
Yeah,
But
assuming December, the modified bylaws are adopted, what's the process for changing it
It's in the bylaws.
beyond that?
It's in the bylaws.
Okay,
in the bylaws.
quickly, what is it?
two-thirds of the representatives at a quarterly meeting.
At a quarterly meeting.
with
So
21
if they're adopted in December, they're cast in concrete till the next quarter.
Right,
Okay, fine.
there's a need for a 21-day notice of any amendments or changes to all the board members.
Right.
So there is a process for that.
Yeah, I assumed it was, so to be clear.
So this it really isn't a motion.
It is,
for it.
no, there is a motion, it's an open motion.
Great. Next, Sandra, is officers.
All right, well, we need some interim officers. And so what, my discussion on this is that we have now until June, which would be our general assembly meeting. We've actually been meeting since June. That we have officers until that June meeting. And then if you don't like the way the officers are behaving, then we can pick them out, and if they feel like they want to leave, they can. So we have president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and so we have, are there any nominations for president?
I nominate Sandra.
Are there any other nominations for president? If it's legal, I would like to nominate Pete Colstead as the co-chair or co-president, or
We're in
vice
a
president.
position.
I suppose, okay, the vice president and...
Let's just do one office at a time.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay, well...
So let's vote on president.
Yeah, okay.
And I move Sandra be the president. Can we get a second?
Second.
Yeah, Harvey?
We
Discussion?
could just go through and.
Do a slate?
Slate,
Yeah, we can do
and
that.
then
That's
vote on
fine.
the whole thing.
Here's the slate we made. We need a secretary. We have Sandra as the president, Elsie as the vice president. I will be the treasurer and general kind of stirrer of the pot. And we need somebody to volunteer to be the secretary.
Harvey, I volunteered.
It could be you, Mark. Are you gonna be able to video all of these?
I'll be able to video this, but I've got a lot going on.
If you can do the videos, you can be the secretary and we'll take care of the rest of the work. How's that? So Mark Warlick as secretary, me as the treasurer. That's our slate. Sandra, Elsie, Mark, and me.
Any additional? Speak now.
I think most people here are pretty happy, and you guys have done extra work to get us to this point, so that sounds like a good slate.
Okay. Then, if there are no other nominations, yeah.
I think you need to start thinking about the future of your officer stuff, so you might want to figure out some kind of shadow officer group, like you have a president, a vice president, first vice president, second vice president, and so on down the way. Otherwise, you're going to have the same people raising their hands. I know Mark's just overloaded with stuff.
Well,
Already.
of course, right now it's just, we just need to get started and then we can have those, and I think that's a great suggestion. I think that is an excellent suggestion that we have.
Lots of people around here
Yes.
that have a lot of talent, and some people that aren't here have a lot of talent, like Charles Lauer's not even here. I know that.
That's right.
And he's a very experienced secretary. He's
Lauer
got a
is here.
very
I
small
am not
laptop.
doing the secretary. I can tell you that.
Okay, now this is interim. We're just trying to get ourselves rolling. We need enough of a structure to get the thing going, and it'll begin to evolve as we get started.
Move to adopt the slate.
Second, anybody?
Second.
All in favor?
Opposed?
No opposed? Great.
Okay.
Hey, we're moving along. Excellent. Good.
So are you going to include
By the
that
way-
in your letterhead?
Do you think we should? Okay,
Also,
No,
in
we'll
your
put it down
letterhead,
to
are you going to
left-hand
have an
side.
address?
we don't have one yet.
You need to find
We got a
some kind
web
of
address.
PO box.
I forgot to ask, Elsie is not here tonight. Did she
Yes,
say that she would do that?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
No proxies.
Now, what is the URL for the website?
It's at the bottom, well, those of you who've got this letterhead stuff, I'll send it out to you anyway. Down at the bottom corner, it's www.neighborwebsj.com. But I'll make sure everybody has a copy of that too.
It's not really case sensitive, is
No,
No.
no.
Oh, I didn't listen at all. Could you say it again?
neighborwebsj.com, NEIGHBOR-WEBSJ.
A phone number, list everybody's phone number, and a PO box or some address.
I'd ask for us to table the discussion, and I ask for you guys to connect on every different point, only because otherwise we're looking to drag the meeting on
Yeah.
even further than it's
I
already.
will not, I'll not accept that. This is an important issue.
Well, I'll work with you on it, Ken. We'll get it going.
Resolve.
Okay.
Just a comment, if you haven't looked at NeighborWeb, it really is very nicely done so far.
Yeah.
Look it up, check it out.
And I need help with it, so all you nerds that really want to dig in, or people that want to write, who aren't nerds, or nerds that write,
You need articles, is that what you're asking?
yes, I
I'd be
am.
happy to write articles.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to the agenda.
Right now, we have the time to actually discuss here, which we haven't had before. Is there any things that the board wants to bring up or wants to talk about?
What we'll do is we'll start here with the board, and then as that peters out, we'll just open up to everybody.
Well,
I want to go back to
I knew you'd
something that
come
came up earlier
Yeah,
okay,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
with Kit. If you could just clarify for us if there might be some process connected to how you make a decision and we make decisions about taxation for SNI in the future, because it started to be contentious right away.
I'm not contentious anymore now.
That's okay.
I calmed down. Sweet and kind.
So, let me just briefly explain the process as I understand it, and then if you want to dig deeper, we can. what the basic piece would be is there's an existing redevelopment plan for the Strong Neighborhoods redevelopment plan. And in order, attached to that plan are a number of powers. One of the ones that we have chosen to take, which was a mistake, was eminent domain, which is expiring, fortunately. One of the powers that we did not choose to take is the ability to collect tax increment. So in order to have that power attached to the redevelopment plan, we would have to do a plan amendment process, which is about a 12-month process, which would include a great deal of community engagement, and eventually a finding of blight again, and eventually a decision by the city council / agency board to adopt that plan. During that time, we would also have discussions with all of the other taxing agencies that were affected. They would be outreach to. That would include the school districts and the council. The ones that would be primarily affected by this one are actually the city and the county. The school districts less so, as we had a chance to go into detail. The only school district which is likely to be affected directly by this would be Campbell Union, which has a small portion in the area. And that means that every dollar of tax increment we took out that would have otherwise gone to the school district comes out of potentially Campbell's Union. So we'd want to sit down, talk with them, and make sure that hopefully we come to an agreement that would work for Campbell Union. All of the other school districts will be made whole by the state, because every dollar of tax increment that would be taken out from there would be replaced by the ERAP funding. That eventually now gets paid for on a citywide basis, so it's not free, but those individual school districts would not lose out as a result of the redevelopment. So the biggest shifts would be at the county and at the city level.
Can I ask then, so then it would mean that the money that you would take from each side would be made whole by the state, which would reverse what the state has been doing, taking money out of the schools? No? Am I looking too positively at this whole thing?
Well, it's not any more funding, but here's the amount of funding that the state gives to the schools now, and here's the money that they get by property tax. So let's say it's here and here. If we start to take out some from the property tax, the state is obligated by law to fill that back in. So the school district, in fact, doesn't get any more money than it's done.
But the state has to give some money back that they previously took out. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not that they previously took out, it's what was previously coming from local taxes. So in essence, they'd have to find another source for it. Yeah, the school districts aren't any better off, but at least in those instances, they're not off for that. And Campbell School District, to set a scale, the entire school district is only above that border by $153,000. So we're not talking about millions of dollars of impact on Campbell School District. We're talking about $153,000, which is in the realm of something that could be figured out. Does that help, Phil?
Yeah, tremendously, because I think we're trying to get through the next 2 years by creating positive momentum in an absence of funding. By 2012, the national economy is going to be better, but various cities, states, and federal programs will still face tax expense kinds of problems for years to come. So we would be better off going for that money.
Well, and what it does is it sets up potentially a 30-year or longer stream of guaranteed funding that you can be intentional about investing in ways that support and grow the neighborhoods over that 30-year period without having to get into competition now that you see a council of economic development versus neighborhoods, because neighborhoods would be in essence self-funding in this way.
But the state's
probably I'm going to go with follow their rules and go Harvey and Charles and then Jaime. Okay.
Devil's advocate here.
Sure, please, we need them.
Because I heard Tahiri on the radio talking about this as an idea. It's interesting. They can take money out of the improvements to neighborhoods just because builders are building and what have you, and move it into the RDA, but there's no guarantee that money would go back to the neighborhoods.
That's a really good point, and what we'd want to do is you can actually put some guarantees in. When you adopt the redevelopment plan guides on what you can and can't spend money on. So one of the issues, for example, with the city, is that they want to make sure it's in the interest of the city just to stay.